Well, my life is pretty much divided into two parts. There's the before accident and then the after accident. Before the accident, I was a music teacher for 28 years. Most recently, I taught at Grant Elementary School in Marshfield. And I had been down in Middleton visiting our daughter Emily. That was January 13th, 2019, and I crashed on the way home. We're not exactly sure what happened. One of my doctors is pretty sure that I fell asleep behind the wheel, or maybe a tire blew, but we won't know for sure, and at this point it doesn't matter because the result is the same. I crossed the center line, I hit a culvert at highway speed, and I went airborne for, they said I was 10 feet in the air, but Dave doesn't think that can be true, but that's what the accident report says. I clipped a power pole and landed on the roof of my car.
I was at Best Buy when the sheriff called, and that's never a good call, and said that Lisa had been in an accident and was being transported to Marshfield. The sheriff didn't say much. What could he say? You know, if it was really, really bad, how bad it was, or if she wasn't going to make it, could they, even say that? So it was all kinds of stuff going through my mind on the highway back to Marshfield. So it was kind of a scary drive back.
She had multiple injuries to both ankles. Oftentimes, patients will only encounter one of these, and it can be difficult to recover from. She had multiple injuries on the right and left ankle, specifically the left ankle with an open fracture. The type of fracture she had with the bone that came out through the skin has a high risk for infection and has a high rate of not healing, and so it's difficult to reconstruct and takes a long period of time. Oftentimes patients anticipate immediately going back to their pre-injury level of function, and sometimes that's just not realistic.
I think I'm still wrapping my head around how serious the injuries were, and I didn't realize it for sure until maybe the second day in the hospital or so. In my mind, it was just, fender bender. I guess I'll be on crutches for a couple of weeks and I'll be going back to school soon. But Dr. Polga told me that the injuries were devastating and life-changing, and that I would not be going back that school year at all. And that's when I realized that this is a lot more serious than I thought it was. Since the accident, I've had 11 surgeries. 10 of them were orthopedic, and one of them was an abdominal repair surgery from the accident.
A system of care and trauma care specifically is extremely important. It is impossible for one individual or one medical provider to have an expertise in all the areas that are required for care of patients like Lisa. My goal is always to try to provide as much as I can in the far as what the expectations are, both for ultimate recovery, ultimate healing. It helps patients put those injuries into perspective and helps them prepare for what's coming in the future.
It's hard work. It is really hard, but I have to say that it's been worth it for me, that I have gotten not 100% of my life back, but I have gotten a good life back. It's a different life, but it's a good one.
One of the biggest things Lisa has going for her is her positive outlook and her attitude through this entire course of events. Recovery from these injuries take a long time, sometimes years, and it's very difficult for patients to stay positive through all of that. So that is just as important as everything providers did in her care, is her own positive attitude.
My life before the accident, I like to say I was Mrs. Carroll from Grant, because that's who I was. I was the music teacher at Grant School, and I was very happy in that role, but that role doesn't exist anymore. So rather than getting back to things, I'm moving on with things, and I'm discovering new things that I can do, and I'm trying new things, and just really getting down to the best life that I can have with my new situation.